The last photo ever taken of Daniel Voss shows him standing at his kitchen window, 11:47 p.m. He's staring at something outside. No one has ever been able to figure out what. By midnight, every light in his house had gone dark. His car was still in the driveway. His front door was locked from the inside. His phone was on the kitchen table, and Daniel Voss was gone. What makes this case different from any other disappearance is what happened 11 days later. He came back. But the people who knew him say the man who walked through that door was not Daniel Voss. Millbrook is a small town in rural Pennsylvania. Population 4,200. The kind of place where people still leave their doors unlocked. The kind of place where everyone knows your name and your business. Daniel Voss had lived there for 31 years, retired school teacher, divorced, no children. He lived alone in the same house he grew up in, a white two-story on Elm Creek Road, sitting at the edge of a forest that locals had always called, simply, the Dark. Neighbors described him as quiet, predictable, a man of exact routines. Every morning at 6:15 a.m., he walked to the end of his driveway, picked up the newspaper, and waved at whoever drove by. Every evening at 9 p.m., his lights went off, no exceptions. So when his neighbor, a retired nurse named Carol Hadley, noticed Daniel's lights were still on at midnight on October 14, 1987, she didn't think much of it. Until the next morning, when there was no wave from the driveway. And the morning after that, and the one after that. On October 17th, Carol called the police. What they found inside that house would quietly haunt the Millbrook Police Department for the next 4 days. The front door was locked, deadbolt engaged from the inside, every window locked. The back door locked, chain on. Officers had to break a bathroom window to get in. Inside, everything appeared completely normal. Dishes were washed and stacked. The bed was made. His wallet, his keys, and his glasses were on the nightstand. Daniel Voss did not go anywhere willingly. A man does not leave his glasses behind. But the detail that disturbed investigators most was the kitchen table. There were 2 coffee cups. Both had been used. Both had been recently washed and placed back on the table, side by side. Daniel Voss lived alone. Police interviewed every person in Millbrook. No one had seen anyone visit Daniel that night. No car had been spotted on Elm Creek Road after 9 p.m. Security footage from the only gas station at the town entrance showed nothing unusual. After 6 days, the case went cold. Ruled, missing person, whereabouts unknown. Carol Hadley refused to accept that. She kept Daniel's newspaper subscription going, collecting the papers from his driveway every morning, stacking them in her garage. She told people she was keeping them for when he came back. Everyone thought she was grieving. She was actually waiting. On October 25th, 11 days after he vanished, Carol was in her garden at 6:10 a.m. when she saw a figure walking slowly up Elm Creek Road. She recognized the coat, the walk, the gray hair. It was Daniel. She ran to him. She grabbed his arm. She asked him where he had been. He looked at her, and she said, and I want you to remember these exact words because she repeated them to every journalist who ever interviewed her. He looked at her and he said, I was right here the whole time. I never left. Then he walked up his driveway, unlocked his front door with a key he shouldn't have had, because his keys were still on the nightstand, where police had found them, and he went inside. The lights came on. At 9 p.m. exactly, they went off. Carol stood at her window and watched that house for a long time. She said something felt wrong, not dangerous, not threatening, just wrong, like watching a recording of a person instead of the person themselves. She called the police the next morning. Officers visited Daniel. He was cooperative, calm, healthy, no injuries, no signs of distress. When asked where he had been, he said he had simply been at home. There was no evidence to hold him. The case was officially closed. But here is where the shadow files on this case go deeper than the official report. Carol Hadley kept notes. For 23 years, until her death in 2010, she documented everything she observed about her neighbor. The man who came back waved from the driveway every morning. He picked up the newspaper at exactly 6:15 a.m. His lights went off at exactly 9 p.m. Everything was the same, except for one thing. In 31 years of living next door to Daniel Voss, Carol had never once seen him look at the tree line. After he came back, he looked at it every single morning, just for a moment, a slow turn of the head toward the dark edge of the forest, as if he was checking something. Lived in that house until 2004, when he passed away quietly in his sleep at age 79. No family attended the funeral, no obituary was published. The house was sold, renovated, and resold 3 times in the years that followed. Every family that lived there left within 18 months. None of them ever explained it. Carol's notes were found in a shoebox in her attic by her daughter, who mailed them anonymously to a true crime researcher in 2011. That researcher scanned every page and published them online, before the website went dark in 2013. I found an archived copy, and on the very last page, in Carol's handwriting, underlined 3 times, was a single question. If he never left, then who washed the second cup? This has been Shadow Files, Case 001. The Millbrook disappearance remains officially closed. Whether the man who walked back up that driveway was Daniel Voss, or something wearing his routine like a costume, is a question no one has ever been able to answer. Some files stay in the shadows for a reason. I'll see you in the next one.